Hey y'all, this is my review of the Smith & Wesson SD9VE chambered in 9mm. So before we begin, let's do a safety check. So I've got two 10-round mags here for all you California compliant people. So empty mag, there's the follower. Empty mag, there's the follower. Here's a 16-round mag for all y'all who are not in California. Empty mag, there's the follower. Another 16-round mag, there's the follower. Like I said, 16 right there. All right, let's begin. Let's check the gun. Magazine's empty. No round in the chamber. Let's check that trigger pull real quick. Let's go ahead and give it a squeeze. Nice little take up. All right. So with this gun, chambered 9mm. It's Smith & Wesson SD9VE. It's VE, I'm pretty sure it stands for Value Enhanced. This is one of their more budget-friendly firearms. Now, when I say budget, doesn't necessarily mean it's cheap, as in a bad way. It's just budget-minded. Now, this gun is going to be slightly different than the one you see in the stores because I have upgraded the trigger. I have upgraded this rear sight. I have put a steel recoil spring in guide rod, and I've put this grip tape on here. And I'll get into each one of those as we go. Let's pick the gun up. So there's no safety, right? No physical safety, right? Now let's start with the trigger. So I put this aftermarket trigger in. I'm pretty sure it's the Apex trigger. Now this is a polymer trigger, and it's got the blade safety on there, right? Like if you don't hit that blade and you try to pull the trigger, it's not going to move anywhere. Now you can kind of see it as I pull the trigger. It moves that blade, and now I can pull the trigger. Okay. But slide stop right there, and there's your takedown right there. It's kind of like a Glock. All right. So like I said, for this one I upgraded this trigger, and I did put this grip tape on here. Now this is the Talon Grips, and they have two types. They have a rubber tape, or they have a sandpaper tape. I don't personally carry this gun. Like I have used it as like a truck gun, range gun, kept it in a bag, but I'm not holstering it. I'm not keeping it up against my skin. And I get sweaty hands, and it's got a decent grip on there. The texturing on, like, you can't see it because I've covered it up with the tape. This is the tape from Talon Grips, designed for the SD9VE, and it cut out so it fits the gun, and it, like I said, it works. It's slightly rough, but I mean, you're not gonna lose grip on it whenever it's going off in your hand. And I highly recommend these grip tapes. Can you hear it? That's sandpaper. Like I said, it's never rubbed my hands raw. It's allowed me to keep a good grip on the gun. So I've added that. Yep, Smith & Wesson SD9VE. Now, like I said, this is a California compliant handgun. I had purchased it in California when I was stationed there. And if you buy a non-California compliant one, it will have the loaded chamber indicators, a hole right here, and you should be able to look down it and see brass if there is a round in the chamber. This one has a blade, right? If there is a round in the chamber, this blade, if I can see if I can press on the back end of this, it will come up, and it'll allow you to know, like, hey, there's a round in the chamber. Now, I have changed this one out because the one that comes with it has writing on it, and it says loaded when raised written across the top of it. And when it sticks up beyond the slide, so the sides of this blade are red. So if you was to look at it from this way, you'd see the blade raised, and you would see red too. So you'd know that the firearm was loaded. Now this one's an aftermarket one, and it is it's flush when it's raised, right? So it's recessed when it's not loaded, and it's flush when it's raised, or when it's loaded. It's raised when it's loaded. So that's another thing I've changed out. And I think you can pick this gun up for about $300. Between aftermarket parts, I probably got $80 into it. Between the trigger wasn't expensive. It was like 25 or 30 bucks. I got a $20 guide rod that I'll show you in a second, this grip tape, and this rear sight. Now I'm going to explain something on this rear sight here, which y'all might find interesting. So if you look at this rear sight, it looks very similar to the one that came on it. The one that comes on it's plastic, and it fits in this dovetail. If you look online for aftermarket sights for this gun, you'll notice that when you go to select, let's say you pick, I can't think of a brand off the top of my head, but any aftermarket sight, right? And you select, I have the SD9VE, and it'll give you, okay, this is the sight you need to use for your model gun. Well, if you was to pick the drop down on one of those guns, the M&P Shield, the original M&P Shield, not the M&P 2.0, not the Shield, the full-sized M&P, the original full-sized M&P, not the M&P 2.0, the original M&P. Those sights and the sights on this gun are the same, because whatever drop down menu you pick on whatever aftermarket sights, they're going to give you the same option for the same sights. So what I did was I went and bought off of eBay, I think I paid $10 for these. They're used M&P sights. They're metal sights. I just put them on there. They slid right in. I used a sight pusher, got them in there, got them level. But I'm sorry, I have a crack in my camera. You're not going to be able to see it, but in between there, it does say, and it's going to be blurry, but in between those two sites, it does say M&P. So, and it fits just fine. Got a nice little set screw, and you're off to the races. It's I didn't particularly care for the plastic ones. I mean, they look the same. They're just plastic, and I didn't care for that, so I swapped those out. So if you want, metal sights and you want to hack, that is a way to do it. I don't care what anybody says. It fit, and it wasn't like I had to beat it in. It fit fine. I used a sight pusher, pushed it in, and went in just fine. It's not even marred up any. This gun is a little dirty. I have shot it. I haven't had the chance to clean it yet. But you can see some of the grime right there, right? That's the one thing I don't like about this blade, is that you're going to get some of that, I guess, gunpowder, come up through there after you shoot it. But front sight, haven't changed it out. It is dovetailed. You can change that out. I haven't changed that out. Probably not going to mess with the sights anymore now. But it's a good gun. It's a great gun. It was one of my first handguns. Like I said, I purchased it in California, so this one's a California compliant one. Full-size handgun. I'm over 6 feet tall. I got all 3 hands on there. Nice, good purchase on it. Let's talk about these mags. Like I said, I'm not in California anymore. I'm in the great state of Georgia, where I'm from. But let me show you. These are California compliant 10-round mags. If you buy it in California, this is what it's going to come with. They're going to come rolled, so you can't physically load more than 10 rounds. Okay, and it's going to come with 2 of them. That's 1. Here's 2. Okay, it comes with 2. Now, California compliant, non-California compliant, they're the exact same. It just doesn't have that roll marking, right? So I can load more than 10. So let's move those out of the way. The regular mags that come with it, 16 rounds. There's the 16, right? You can load 16 rounds in this bad boy. So you got 2 mags. You can have a total of 32 rounds. 16 plus 16, 32. You're good to go. Let's do the weight real quick. I'm talking about the weight. Let me grab my little cheap food scale. Let's get it zeroed out. All right, gun unloaded, no mag. 21.1 ounces. All right, let's take that off. I'm gonna load a non-California compliant mag into it. I'm sure there's not much difference between California and non-California. Unloaded mag, 23.7. Now I'm not gonna load these up. I don't want to load them up on YouTube. But I'm new to YouTube and I'm new to uploading videos, and I don't want them harassing me for, you know, compliance. I just wanted to do a gun review for you. Now, I have had this gun probably 5 years, and I think I'm coming up on 5 years on this gun. 2015, 6 years. Gosh, dang, time flies, right? Purchased this handgun in 2015, and this is 2021 now, so 6 years. We're coming up on 7 years for this gun. Wow, time does fly. But I have shot the ever-living you-know-what out of this gun, and it just functions. I have shot brass, steel, aluminum, hollow points, you name it, it will feed it. It is not ammo sensitive at all. I don't know if I've gotten lucky with it. Now, like I said, I'm going to take it apart for you in a second and show you. I've put a steel guide rod in, and I think I put probably 500 rounds through it before I changed that out. Never had a problem with the plastic one. It has it comes with a plastic guide rod, okay, and it's got a captive spring on there. It's one piece, but I didn't know how I felt about that, and I didn't know that when I purchased the gun. Something I found out afterwards when I took it apart. And these budget firearms, nowadays that's kind of the way they go with that. But I didn't know that. Purchased one, and I can't for the life of me remember who I used for that. But if you Google it for this firearm, you're gonna find it. It's I paid $20 for it. I think it was 20 or 22 bucks. It was super cheap, and I've put thousands of rounds through this gun. It's probably 18 to 2,000 rounds since I've put that spring in, and not a single malfunction, feed, jam with whatever type of ammo. No ammo sensitivities of any kind. So this is 2021 when I'm filming this, November of 2021, and I like to shoot brass if I can find brass. During the pandemic, a lot of ammo was hard to find. So whatever I could get my hands on, that's when I started experimenting with it. It shoots steel. It will shoot aluminum. Now, it likes aluminum a lot. Like, I was shocked with the aluminum. I've never shot aluminum cased anything, and didn't know too much about aluminum case. I've shot steel, plenty of steel before that, but yeah, aluminum casing shoots it just fine. So when it comes with being picky about what it eats, it is not. It will pretty much feed anything. That's my experience with this gun. Now, like, it's dirty now because I literally shot 2 days ago. I haven't had the time to clean it, but I will after I do this video. But I clean my guns. I keep them lubed up, and I never shoot a gun straight out of the box. I always clean it and lube it before I shoot it, and that's just my opinion on it. Some people think you should be able to go and shoot a firearm, and that's your opinion. I would never do that to a firearm. I'm going to clean it and lubricate it and make sure everything looks good before it's got my seal of approval on it before I shoot it. Excuse me. But yeah, this gun has been great. Let me pause the video. I'm going to take it apart for you. I would take it apart for you live, but I don't have a tripod to take it apart with, and I need 2 hands. So let me pause the video for you. All right, so we got her broken apart. It's pretty simple. It's like a Glock. It's got the takedown right there. You kind of have to have it in your hand. You're gonna grab the slide, pull back on it ever so slightly, use your other hand to take the takedown pin down. Slide just comes straight off. Here's the handgun. Here's the frame. Okay, so polymer frame. I said I have upgraded the trigger, Apex trigger. For rails, right? It's got a set of front, set of rears. Okay, not full rails up and down it, but I haven't had any issues with that. You know, I would prefer a full set of rails, but it doesn't, and this has worked just fine as far as wear and tear on it. I've shot thousands of rounds through this. Upwards. I think shot almost 2,000 out of it with the steel guide rod. I think 500 before that with the plastic one. 2,500, 2,600 rounds through this thing total. And that's just a rough estimate, but wear and tear on this thing is very minimal. It's solidly built, and yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed it. So, like I said, right, let's go to that steel guide rod spring. Don't quote me where I got it. It might have been Apex or Galloway Precision. And I know there's another company, M Carbo, that makes them as well. You're not going to go wrong with any of those companies. I went with the stock spring weight, and I think the site even told me, it was like, this is what comes with the gun. So I was like, okay, this is what I went with. I didn't increase, I didn't decrease the spring tension. But yeah, it's a steel guide rod, captive spring. Here's my barrel. Pretty, I mean, like I said, like I wiped it down after I took it apart, but yeah, there's your rifling right there. This is it's a good shooting gun. I thoroughly love this gun. I've let first-time shooters shoot this gun compared to like some of my other guns. I got a SIG P365, Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. I got a 1911, and they prefer this gun. For the internals, right, for the takedown, this is pretty simple. If you've got a tiny flathead, there's like a little grommet, like a plastic white grommet right there at the tip of my finger. You're going to get a flathead in there, push it back this way, and it releases the tension in here. You can slide your back plate off, and your whole striker assembly comes out, and you can clean it. I oiled lube the living crap out of this gun, and it just functions. You know, you don't need, if you can't afford a Glock, you can't afford a SIG or a full-size M&P. I mean, this is the way to go. It is, it's well made. Even with the upgrades I've done on it, if you haven't done the upgrades, it's a good gun. And, I mean, it'll protect you. It'll save your life. If you've got the money to buy a high point, which I don't recommend for anyone, then you've got the money to buy one of these. And I mean, you can pick them up used, pretty, in pretty good shape. So any used gun, take it apart, clean it, and verify that it works at a range, and then if you want to upgrade it, work on your upgrades. If you don't. Great gun. Not too much to say about the internals, though. I mean, it's pretty standard. Here's your mag release right there. It you have to intentionally know to hit it. I've never accidentally hit it. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty solid on the inside too. So yeah, I'm gonna put it back together. I'm gonna finish up the review for you. All right, so we got it put back together. I got the trigger depressed. I'm going to show you the trigger reset on this. Okay. All right. So let's release the trigger. You'll hear it click. There's that click. Break. Like I said, it's a great gun, great shooter. I know in some states it's got a magazine disconnect. Mine doesn't, even though I bought it in California. I don't know what else y'all got. This one didn't. Bought it in California, brand new, out the box. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this gun. It's a great first-time gun. It's a great gun to learn on, especially if you're learning, you know, handgun safety, you know, good principles of shooting. This is a good gun to have. A good starter gun. I would definitely say a good backup gun, truck gun, you know, whatever, toolbox gun, whatever you want to say about it. Solid gun. Highly recommend it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.